What did you see on the internet as a child that scarred you for life? It's for this purpose that I honestly feel watch be pleady had a legit place here. So many videos of workplace accidents, car accidents, the injuries shown from suicide attempts, and successes. Even the combat footage and ISIS propaganda videos showed the brutal reality of death. This is without saying that the comment section could be quite cesspool. Especially gang-related murders in South America would quickly spiral into racist, dehumanizing comments about those countries and their peoples. The clip that stuck with me the most was a workplace accident in a marble slab processing facility. Two guys transferring marble slab blanks to be machined. One guy slid between the slabs to secure the next one, and the vertically stacked slabs started tipping and pinched him between the slab and the crate. Another commenter worked out that each slab was in the neighborhood of 800 pounds. Guy number 2 sees his buddy get pinched and slides in beside him to help him push the span back up, only for 2 more slabs to tip and the total weight go from 800 up to 2,400 pounds. 2 families in mourning over a 10-second accident. Probably will just fuel your fear, but I never really get to tell this semi-related story. When I was in high school, I went out one morning for a pre-class jog. Maybe 5 minutes into the jog, my breast started to sting. I glanced down quickly and see nothing wrong, so I kept running. I get to the intersection and now it's really stinging, so I stop running and inspect further. I look down, nothing. Pull my shirt open a little, nothing. Pull my bra open, just enough to look down at, and lo and behold, a fucking wasp flies out of my bra. I have no idea how it got there in the first place. Maybe flew into me and fell down as I was wearing a low-cut shirt. I noted the fuck out of that and ran home. I was 12. Some kids at my school found, and decided to show to my friends and I, a video where a baby fell from its stroller into the road exactly when a truck was passing by. It just came and went without seeing the baby. The wheel pressed the baby's head, but the street camera was not good enough to make out the details. All you could see was that the head had been deformed and there was a little puddle of blood around it. But it was the mother the thing that disturbed me the most. She was there buying something at the store, distracted from the stroller until it fell from some stairs into the road. The mother probably heard it fall because she turned and couldn't do nothing but see how her baby was pressed by a wheel. She cried and yelled and waved her hands, jumping into the air and falling to her knees. She would take a peek only to turn and cry and wave some more. It disturbed me. Looked it up when I was at home later and gave it some turns looking at the mother. I would picture my own mother in the woman's place, and knowing how protective my mother is, it just puzzled me the kind of horrors that woman had crossing her mind. It definitely left a mark and couldn't forget it for days. Tub girl, goats, Mr. Hands, BME Pain Olympics, glass jar butthole guy, kitten stomping video, Russian girl chucking a bag of puppies into a river, beheading videos. They all desensitized me to a lot of things as a kid, but the thing I can't get out of my head to this day is a cartel murder video someone sent me. I thought it was something from a zombie movie, so I watched it longer than I should have. Edit: the details below are gruesome. Do not read further if you can't handle graphic descriptions of violence. Sorry. Same. I think I ran into lots of them. Me and my girlfriends would go into the chat rooms and pretend to be 15. We were maybe 9-11 years old, sitting in a group around a desktop. The conversations got sexual in a few minutes 90% of the time. We didn't understand. We'd just scream and giggle and play along as best we could. We thought we were being tricky by posing as someone mature and older, but we usually pretending to be 15. Thankfully you couldn't send pictures or do much. Things were said that got seamed into my brain forever. Just reading this comment gave me chills. Unfortunate. I watched 2 similar videos, where they hacked the dog till death. It was slow and painful. They used sword on the poor dog, who did an amazing job at protecting his owner from these bullies, but fucked up courts in Egypt sentenced that dog to be tortured by the bully, where the Chinese people boiled the dog alive for a long time. Scared the living shit out of me. I think Ricky Gervais was pretty shaken too after watching this video. He filed a petition in UK to stop animal torture in China. They passed notice or condemned with strong words or something. Porsche girl. It happened less than 20 miles or so from my hometown. Everyone in school had a competition of who could find the most gory photo or video online, so when the photo was passed around I assumed it was from Best Gore or something. I found out years later that photo was leaked by the police department and had happened around that time. I was probably looking at a leaked photo before it had been widely circulated online. It freaks me out that I could have been one of the first few thousand people to see it. Edit. I realize now I was super vague. So here is some more information. In 2006, a teen girl took out her dad's Porsche without permission. She was going over 100 miles per hour on the freeway when she clipped another car and slammed into a toll booth. The California Highway Patrol took routine accident photos that were leaked to the public. They are shocking. Her parents were on hold with 911 reporting the car stolen when the 911 operator came back to inform them of the accident. The photos went viral and were emailed to her parents with subject lines that would make them open it. They sued the police department and got a little over $2 million. If you want to know more but don't want to risk seeing the picture, I highly recommend you don't. Here is the wiki article. https://n.m.wiki.org/wiki/catsaw_cats_photographs_controversy. Not really the internet, but I was setting up the satellite TV and wanted several channels from outside the pre-programmed pool, so I fired up a full seek and came up with thousands of channels, some of them being much lower quality than today's amateur Twitch streamers. No idea how they could afford the satellite channel slot. Guess rich parents. Back to the topic. The STB would instantly switch to the channel I highlighted in the customized channel list menu, and there were channels from all over the world, including the most exotic places, so I ended up seeing stuff like child pornography just to remove it from my list. That one video where an adult is cutting of a child's arm just below the shoulder with a very dull machete. After it was done, the blade broke. The man picked up the broken blade and the severed arm, then walked out of frame. The child then washed his hand in the puddle of water, both moving despite the lack of limb. He then looked to be ranting about it afterwards, which makes me think that it was some sort of parenting punishment, hence why it's the most fucked thing I have watched, and I've seen beheading videos accidentally. Not an overreaction. I was 23 when I got pranked by CP. Here, on Reddit, someone posted an innocuous-looking Imgur link with a vague text. Just seemed like the usual reaction GIF response. Nope, it was a young girl, maybe 10, and I was lucky. I use that word loosely, because she was just posing, not being forced to do anything, but I still was shocked. Reported the link and the account. I still see her sometimes. She looked so dead inside, just this lifeless stare at the camera. I hope she got saved. I genuinely had to go to therapy short term just to process it. I can't imagine what the people who have to review that stuff to find the kids go through. I don't click on links anymore. Back in the LimeWire days, when peer-to-peer was still pretty new and everyone had dial-up, my sister wanted me to download the Metallica video. I did, and 45 minutes later I told her it was done. I was sitting at the PC and my mom and sister over each of my shoulders so we could all enjoy the music video for one. It was not the Metallica music video for one. Video starts. All you see is a fancy dining room with the table set. We all instantly know this isn't the music video we were expecting. But now it's too intriguing to turn off. We should have turned it off. Enter stage left is an attractive and nude blonde. She slowly walks into frame, strolls up to the table, pulls out a chair, and proceeds to climb up. So now we all know we're watching a pornographic scene, but again, it was too random and intriguing to turn off. We should have turned it off. She gets up on the table, strikes a few poses in her hooker heels, then inevitably squats over the large plate in the center of the table. We knew what was coming next. We should have turned it off. Right now you're imagining what we were all imagining, and we were all wrong. Well, half wrong. She squats over the plate and actually shits out a fish, like a fat 8-inch long fish. Then the video cuts to black and we're all stunned for a moment, until my mom said something along the lines of, "Well, that was interesting," and went back to making dinner. I'm glad we didn't turn it off. Smile. Back in the day, before the www existed, images were converted to text, posted in multiple pieces to message boards, where you had to download them one piece at a time, stitch them back together in order, and convert the text back into an image. The process was called U-encoding and decoding, and it could take a good minute per picture. The message boards had more varieties than subreddits and generally all started with alt.binaries.pictures. You could get pictures of anything and everything. Yes, porn. One day I saw a group called alt.binaries.pictures.my.god, and I'm like, hey, how bad can it be? Downloaded a picture, put it together, converted it. Oh my god. Chick taking a dump in a dude's mouth. Yeah, lesson learned. I was about 13, so around 2001. Don't remember how or why I found it, just that I did. Chris Farley's death scene photos from law enforcement. Wish I never saw him like that, but it also was a realization that hard addictive drugs are something I would never do. And even when I had a lot of opportunities and pressure, I still never have once because of those police photos. I don't want my corpse to be found like that by anyone. It was also the first real dead person I ever seen at that point, so weird I still can visualize it almost as if I had seen it recently, but I haven't since that time, and I know exactly how his body was in the pics. The intro to the movie Begotten. I don't remember the premise entirely, but it starts out with God killing himself with a knife by cutting his stomach open and bleeding out. It's filmed in this super grainy, black and white style that makes it feel like it's from the 40s or something, and it was just so eerie and creepy and disturbing that I had nightmares about it for weeks. Don't know if it would be so scary anymore as an adult, but I'm not about to check and see. Alice Jack Creepypasta. I spent 2 years straight having trouble falling asleep after I saw the picture that was taken as part of the story. I could literally only sleep if I put my head under my blanket. I'm pretty much over it now, but whenever I remember it I get mad that my family just basically went all your fault for looking at things we told you not to instead of taking me to a fucking therapist. Like I was 7/8 at the time, and I'm pretty sure it's not normal for a child to be so scared by a single image for literally 2 years straight. There is a video of a man doing a backflip off a platform into water, but as he flips into the water, his head misses and hits the concrete walkway. He jumped from a significant height. His skull was cracked right open, but you could still see him breathing. He looked like the woman in the movie Midsommar. At this scene, someone was pressing the two halves of his skull together. I've seen beheadings, pain Olympics, horrible things happening to animals and humans, really horrible stuff to see as a kid tbh. I'm 14, and about a year ago I was scrolling through some Discord server memes off top channel. There were a lot of funny imagines and short weird videos. Then, I've seen that one video where someone was chilling with friends at some place in city. They speak Russian, and out of sudden someone came with his friend and attacked some drunk guy with knife. He was choking him in his throat several times. No one tried to help him, probably because of fear, and attackers ran away. I still don't know if that man survived or not. I will never leave the house again at night. I have seen plenty of those videos, but I can recall 3 of them that really scarred me. 2 guys knock on a house and an old guy opens the door. The first 2 guys ask if his daughter's at home, and the old guy, the father, calls her and then tours the house. As soon as the poor girl gets there, the guys shot her multiple times. I knew what was about to happen, and it still freaked me out. The worst was thinking about how the father felt after that. The second video shows a bunch of guys asking a middle-aged lady for directions or something, and out of nowhere, bang, they start shooting the poor lady. Apparently she told the police something related to a murder that got one of them in gaol. Now the last video was totally awful. Some guy cheated on her GF on video, and the girl being cheated on, and her friends tortured and dismembered the girl her BF was cheating with. All of this is frightening, and I should have spent my teenage free time with something less disturbing. A woman with some kind of visible larva growing on her boobs. None of the violence I saw came close to disturbing me as much as that for some reason. It was accompanied with the story of her going to the doctor and her boobs were itchy and they couldn't figure out why. And then finally in the pic, you can see them. The only other thing I can think of that comes close is a guy attempting to jump into the ocean from really high up, but he doesn't clear the sidewalk or land underneath. The video cuts to a doctor trying their best to hold this person's face together with their hands. That one got me. Oh, and a video where these people are harming themselves in some kind of weird ritual. One guy slaps his back with the sword and you can see the bone. It was so white. In my memory, if I recall correctly, someone noticed that guy went too far. I don't know if I was a child, but I remember the video where a young policeman pulls a guy over in the middle of nowhere and the guy gets out and shoots him and he falls behind the police car. You can hear the policeman screaming and begging for his life as the guy walks to the back of the police car holding a pistol. Then you hear a lot of bangs and the policeman's screams getting louder before abruptly stopping and the guy gets back in his car and drives away. I stared expressionless at the wall for a few minutes after that. Two things. 1. I saw the Netflix docu about the internet cat killer. Decided to watch the videos not shown in the docu because I was bored or something. As soon as the bitch puts the cats in the bag and turns the vacuum on, I close YouTube and yeet my phone to the other side of the room. I spent the next 5 minutes hugging my fur baby, then called my mom in an extreme panic attack. She got home and comforted me for like an hour. And 2. Porn. One time 7-year-old me wanted to know what the word porn meant, so like any normal human, I googled the word porn. I watched a YouTube video, was scarred for life, then used it to my advantage when I was a teenager. The part 1 remember the most is that my dick was so hard that it physically hurt. A lot. A video of people jumping off this metal structure into water and one guy jumps short, head first, splitting his head in half on a metal platform and into the water. There was so much blood in the water. Pretty sure the video continues and cuts to his body being looked at by doctors in a hospital and showing how his head is basically 2 pieces hanging by the neck, not even recognizable in the face anymore, but you could see teeth where his mouth would be and skull cavity, etc. I may have dreamt that last part up though. I could be getting some details wrong, but that's what I remember. I will never forget that video. For some reason it stuck with me more than any other gore shit I found on the internet. A human body flattened by a tank. It was from the June 4th incident. An incident in China where the government oppressed a student rally violently, resulting a lot of death. Hard to word it in English. Every year schools would teach us about it, but they never show anything bloody. Last year, due to the increasing political tension, some people posted those bloody pictures on Instagram to raise people's awareness and to shock people. At first I didn't understand what that was, then I suddenly realized, holy shit, that's a human. When I was in year 3, Australia, I was maybe 8 or 9, we had these MacBooks at school that we could spend our free time on. All use the same logon and everything. We would all log on to YouTube and just watch whatever we wanted, usually DanTDM. I log on one day and there's a YouTube video already open. It's a video of Ronald McDonald murdering everyone inside of a McDonald's. It was bloody and gory and my fucking god, it scarred me. I'm not the best with horror. I get scared very easily. To this day I still cannot go into a McDonald's out of fear. I don't know why. I know it's stupid. I just can't. I think I was 7 or 8 years old. My brother was 3 at the time. Some friend gave me a CD with lots of stuff in it. MP3, videos and flash games. It was the 90s back then, and there was this flash video called The Fact About Sajid Ali. Of course it was a screamer. I saw it alone in the dark and shitted myself. Then I thought it was a good idea to show it to my little brother. As soon as the black face showed on screen, my brother started screaming and running circles in the room, crying like I've never heard anyone before. For a long time, it was enough for me to say Sajid Ali and he started crying or yelling like a mofo. It took him several years to get over the trauma, but still today, he's 26. He has chills remembering that video. This is the actual screamer. I still feel guilty about it. Please tell me I'm not a bad person. https://f.b/xj9evxu